Well, good evening and welcome to the latest awards presentation for Wild Art Photographer of the Year. Tonight we are going to be going through the winners of Space and sharing those images with you. I've got Victoria Hillman all lined up, ready to talk to me after the intro, and we'll get to that and all the winning images right after this. Evening, Vic.
Evening, Rob. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. I'm good. You all right?
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad.
Good. Thank you for stepping in, by the way, to help me out this evening and share all the winners with everybody. Just to let everybody know that Vic actually wasn't part of the judging team that looked at Space, but I couldn't. Yari and Kaiser are away in Japan, and Josh is off photographing owls or something, or so he said in an email to me earlier today. So yeah, Vic's very kindly stepped in. So I'm not on my lonesome this evening, and boring everybody, rigid as I do. So thank you for that, Vic. Having said that, obviously, you've seen all the images, and we've chatted about them, and obviously the reasons why they were chosen, so I can share that with everybody, and on behalf of Yari, Kaiser, and Josh, obviously. So it's yet again, it was an amazing category. I mean, you saw a lot of the images that obviously the ones that have been commended and highly commended. It shows you the standard of stuff that we keep getting in this competition. The standard is pretty high, isn't it?
It is absolutely amazing, and I think this year we've just seen some really kind of mind-blowingly beautiful imagery as well.
Yeah, no, it's and it always makes your job really hard, doesn't it, when when we look at all the individual categories that obviously you've been involved with this year, and then the sort of final judging process, which we have completed now. Everybody will be pleased to know, and you may well have seen in the newsletter that I sent out that we're hopefully going to do the announcement next weekend. So I'm trying to line up one of the judges for that. So we should be doing that probably same time next Sunday. So that's something to look forward to. So an amazing standard again, and can't wait to see what else comes along in future years, to be honest. But, it's pretty amazing. So what I will do is, if people want to comment, stop by, say hello, then please do that. Please put it in the live chat, and I'll try and sort of get to comments, as we go throughout the evening. We've not got many guests this evening, so we should sort of be able to get through these sort of relatively quickly. But so do drop by, say hello in the chat, and I'll give you I'll make sure to give you a mention. So do that. So without further ado, Vic, shall we get on and share our Young Award winner with everybody who is here to talk to? So let me run that let me run that video, and we'll bring him on for a chat. So Young Award winner, we're just about to bring you on. So our Young Award winner for Space is Evening, Max. We've spoken before, and here you are again.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Good. Fantastic image. Vic and I'll have a quick chat. We'll bring it up on the screen. Let's just share that on the screen for everybody. Vic and I'll have a quick chat, and then let's dig into the story behind this image, because you were sharing some of that with us before we went on air, and it's a really interesting story. So. Vic, what's not to like about this image? I mean, personally, I think the composition is really strong. I like that sort of corner, that sort of serendipitous corner placement of the kittiwakes, right in that sort of top right hand corner of the window frame. I find that really pleasing. I find the balance of the window and the placement of the bird really pleasing in the frame. And I like the bit that really gets it for me is the reflection in the window of the landscape that you can see. I think that, that's, all those sort of elements make for a really, really lovely composition, a lovely image. What do you see in this picture?
Actually, I love the complementary colors. Like, there's nothing really sticking out color wise, but it all comes together really, really well. I like the fact the background is not just completely bare. You've got all, you've got the excrement from the bird, but you've got all these kind of white bits on the wall as well. And like, just the placement, the color, the reflection, it all just really comes together for a really kind of beautiful image.
Yeah, I think the tones of the wall and the tones of the birds in the bird's plumage, with that white as well from the, from the excrement coming down the wall. As you say, I think that already works so well, doesn't it? And it's hard to put your finger on an image that does work well until you dissect all these sort of individual elements and people point these things out, and then you go, there are all these things that work, and that's what makes it a successful image. So Max, many congratulations on your win in this category.
Thank you.
Give us a little bit of the backstory. Sorry, my dog's just arrived. She's just pushed her way through the door and arrived at my feet. That's distracted me. Give us a bit of the backstory to this, because we were chatting before we came on air, and you've got quite an interesting story to this image.
Okay, so in July 2023, I went on a trip to Norway with my father. First we went to Poznań from where I live in, then to Warsaw, and from Warsaw we went by bus through Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia, all the way up to Finland, and then to Norway. And when we arrived at a city called, I don't know if I pronounce it right, because it's like Berlevåg or something like that. I don't know Norwegian.
No, me neither, actually. Sorry, my dog's coming up to say hello. Give us your opinion, Sky. Sorry. Carry on, Max.
Yeah, and in the city, there were many colonies of these birds on every building.
Yeah. That's a hell of a distance to have traveled by bus. I mean, do you know how far it is off the top of your head?
The whole trip was like 6,000 kilometers.
Wow. In a bus?
Yeah, 2 weeks.
Yeah. Wow. Well, hats off to you for that. But I mean, to get there at that time of the year as well. I mean, we were talking off air about the other sort of species that you saw. But I mean, that's the breeding colonies in that area. I mean, it must have been a spectacular time to have visited.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, amazing. And I mean, the other things you were seeing were puffins, I guess.
Yeah, puffins and all the skuas I wanted to see. What else? Shorebirds, ducks.
Yeah, plenty of breeding things at that time of the year. That's for sure. Yeah, it's a fact, and I like kittiwake is just such a fantastically elegant gull as well, isn't it? It's just a really lovely looking bird. I just love the composition of this. I think it's really superb. So so many congratulations on a fantastic picture, and well, said hats off to you for staying in a bus for so many miles. I hope you got to see a lot of those other countries as well on the way.
Yeah, I really liked it in Finland.
Yeah, were you sort of stopping for? Presumably, you were stopping for some time. Were you in other places, or it wasn't just a sort of straight trip where you spent all your time on the bus? I hope.
No, we stopped many times.
Yeah, and presumably you've got pictures from all over those places. Not just wildlife. I assume. But, yeah, what a trip!
The best pictures from this trip I got were from Finland, because the weather wasn't so sunny as in Norway, but it was cloudy also and rainy.
Yeah, I bet. So, I mean, how was the weather generally when you were there? Because obviously at that time of the year, as we were saying, that you've got a lot of daylight. So middle of the day, the sun's going to be pretty harsh. Did you have a lot of cloud cover, or was it did you have good weather?
So I was in Norway for 3 days or 4 maybe, and all the time there wasn't even a cloud on the sky.
Wow, that's pretty unusual. So Sky's letting her her comments be known. Obviously, she does this when Josh and I record the podcasts. She often does this. She always has to come in and have a say sometime or other when we're recording them. So apologies if she's coming across the audio. Max, that's a really beautiful image. I just love the composition of this. I think it's really, really clever. I said, so congratulations on winning the category, and thanks very much for sort of coming on and having a chat with us about the image.
Thank you too.
Yeah, brilliant. I said, hang around, until we finished, because I need I'd like a chat with you at the end. But
Okay.
hang around and watch the rest of it, and we'll have a chat at the end. But thanks ever so much for the time and sharing the story behind the picture. It's great stuff, and I'm sure we'll be chatting again. So let me just stop sharing that screen for a second. Okay, I'll pop you back in our virtual green room, and we'll chat after we finish the presentation. But Max, lovely to talk to you. Thanks for coming on, and we'll talk again soon.
Okay, thank you.
All
Bye.
right. Okay, thanks. A fantastic image. I'm always really amazed at the standard of stuff for these, from the young entrants. It's amazing stuff. So, which brings us on to, where are we next? Okay, so what we're going to do is, Max is the only person we've got who's able to make it this evening. So what we'll do is we'll run through everything else in order, which makes a change actually, because normally I'm it's all sort of it's all over the place with depending on who's here to talk to. So let's go for the Founders Choice Award, which is the next one to share with everybody. So Founders Choice Award winner is right. Let me bring this image up for everybody. Put that in. There we go. I mean, unfortunately, Kai can't be with us to have a chat and tell us the story behind this. But for me, I just like all the negative space in it, and that's partly what this category is about. It's one of those interpretations of the category space. I love the negative space. I love the color. I love the pose of it is a rebunting, and I just go straight there, and I just think it's in a nice area of the frame. I just think this works on so many levels. Vic, what's your take on it?
Yeah, kind of similar, really. I mean, well, you know me anyway, Rob. I love putting negative space in my images anyway. It's something that I really enjoy doing myself. But I think for this, it's a really striking image because you have that yellow, but you do have that little bit of detail. It's not just completely one shade of yellow. You've actually got the different shades, a little bit of texture there in the flowers, and then the pose of the bird as well. It's a really lovely image.
Yeah, it's fantastic, and I like there is a contrast between the sort of color, of the background and the bird itself. Your eye goes straight there. The fact that its wings are outstretched like that, and I just think it's the whole composition of it. It's just so simple, but it's complexly simple, but it works so well, doesn't it? It just works so well on so many levels. So no, that is a fantastic image, and it's a shame that that Kai isn't here to have a chat with us and sort of tell us a bit more about the picture. But we've had a few images like this. I'm presuming this is oilseed rape that he's photographed it in, with that color. And I think, although I'm not a fan of that particular crop, to be honest, but it does provide some fantastic photographic opportunities with that bright color. You know, it's just to isolate birds like that. When you get those opportunities, fantastic. So well done, Kai. That's a really amazing image. And that's why I picked it out. I just love all that negative space, the simplicity of it. I just think its strength lies in its simplicity. So congratulations, to Kai for that particular image. So let's just stop sharing that for a second. I told you this was going to be quick tonight because we've got nobody here to share the stories from. But shall we go for the Bronze Award winner now?
Yeah.
And let's share that with everybody. So our Bronze Award winner for space is So congratulations, Rob Blanken, for that picture. Let me put that up on the screen for everybody. I'll get to the right place and I'll share that. So what I like about this particular picture is again, it's simple, but it's really effective. I like the point of view. The elevated point of view is slightly unusual. The tradition would say get down low to the bird's level and shoot it like that. But obviously this is an elevated position from a bridge or something like that, I would assume. But that's allowed these lovely reflections to come in. You've got all those sort of lovely textures from the trees. And the thing that really makes it for me is that the coot itself is in a little pool of light. So you've got this sort of lighter area around which highlights and draws your eye to the coot. And yet you've got all these lovely sort of textures around the outside, and that sort of disturbance on the surface of the water is just giving it that distortion that it needs. And I just think that the whole thing, when you put those elements together, it just comes out with a really effective image that is a slightly different take on a very, very common subject. And I think that's what struck the judges, and that's what made it stand out for them. I mean, Vic, what can you see in this picture?
I actually really like the fact it's in monochrome, because by using the black and white, you can see all those beautiful textures and ripples, the lights and the darks. And I would imagine if in color, you would be distracted by all the different colors reflecting on the water. So actually for me, like, the fact it's in black and white really enhances kind of the really kind of simple but beautifulness of this image. And again, like you, I like the fact that the coot's in that little patch of light, and also the fact that you've actually got the reflection of the head underneath as well.
Yeah, it's a nice little touch there, isn't it? And which you wouldn't have got necessarily, not in that way, had you got down on the level with it. So I like the different approach, and I like what you said about black and white and the subtraction of something from a photograph to add to its effectiveness. And I think that is the real skill, isn't it, when you come to black and white imagery? I think something David Tippling has always said to me, that it should be a good picture in the first place, but actually it should be a better picture when you turn it black and white. It should add, that subtraction should add to the image. And I think that's exactly what it's done here. It's simplified it, and it's taken that distraction away of the color to concentrate on shape, form, and texture. And I think that's a really good example, of how to use a black and white conversion really effectively, and elevate an image. So
definitely.
Yeah, Rob Blanken, very well done for that. That's that's a fantastic picture. He's done very well this year, actually, in the competition. He's coming up with some amazing stuff. So it's another cracking image, and we might be showing a few more of his pictures as well a little bit later on. So look out for those. So Rob, very well done. That's a fantastic image, and I shall stop sharing that screen for a second. Let's see what we've got next. So, moving on to our Silver Award winner. So our Silver Award winner for space is I shall move the pictures onto the right place and add that in. And this is a grey heron. And obviously it's standing, stalking, whatever, but it looks like well, it's obviously a frozen lake, and it's a drone shot. And what I like about this are all the different layers to it, you know, the lines and the textures and all that lovely detail which has really been brought out. I mean, I've seen the raw file, and Chaba's really brought out all that sort of lovely texture and color from that original image. And I just think, you know, compositionally, it's intriguing. You know, it works so well, it's nicely balanced, but there's an element of intrigue. I mean, when when we first chatted about this picture, Vic, you said, oh, you know, what is it? What we, and I actually quite like that about images at times, when you have to look closer at it to know, you know, it's a bird, but you need to dig a little bit deeper to see exactly what you're looking at. And it sort of plays with your mind a bit, the perspective of it. Again, this is another sort of, you know, looking from above down image, as we saw with the last one, but just done in a different way. And it makes you think, what am I looking at? How's this been done? What exactly is going on? And I rather like the way that plays with your mind with photography. It's not straightforward. You know, Vic, what do you want to add to this?
Yeah, I mean, I like the bands of colours actually. You know, the bit where you've got the heron, there's actually a bit of complementary colour like at the other end of the image, and it just makes you think. It's like, what is this? What's going on? I mean, when I first looked at it, I was like, what am I looking at? But it kind of draws you in and makes you look a bit deeper into it.
Yeah, I said those bands of colour are really quite nice. You say that sort of complementary, you know, the complementary tones on the left, you know, and the you know, there's sort of contrasting tones in the middle, and then you've got those lovely interesting shapes almost in that sort of right hand third as well, which presumably are just made from, you know, the way the ice is formed. So it's intriguing image. I mean, we've seen a few of these sorts of things before, but I just like the overall composition of this, and it's just so cleverly put together. I mean, there are drone images and there are drone images, and you know, like everything, we've always got to be careful about how we use drones. But you know, I think in this instance, you know, that bird is obviously pretty relaxed.
Yeah.
So which is you know, the main thing when you're working with drones. But I just think when they're done really well like this, they just create fantastic pieces of art. And this is one of those things. This is something you can print out and hang on your wall. And this is really what the competition is all about. So, Chapel, we've not seen much of you this year in WildArt, but my word, you know, when you come in with some stuff, it's you know, the standard that comes out of his camera is just incredible, as we will probably see in the not too distant future, actually. But no, another amazing image. I mean, I remember the first year of WildArt, and Chapel won the best portfolio prize when we ran that, and the consistency in his photography was amazing. I mean, we're all wondering what they drink in Hungary, that's for sure, because I want some. It's amazingly creative. So so well done, Chaba, for that. Let's stop sharing that image, and we will share with you our Gold Award winner for this category, which is you know, another amazingly creative photograph. So anyway, let me share that with you. So our Gold Award winner for Space is so Chab has scored a 1-2 here with another just incredibly creative image. He's done very well with this series of photographs, hasn't he? With here and in other competitions. He's yeah. I've seen them starting to appear and being awarded elsewhere. I just think this is incredibly inventive. He has one of those brains that just thinks a lot differently from some other photographers and just comes up with different concepts and different themes that he runs with in different projects. And obviously this is a project that he's been working on. This is taken with a GoPro, would you believe? So what I like about this, again, this is another example of the subtraction of detail and color to create something which is incredibly strong. And it's just those silhouetted shapes. That tree is just the placement of it, the overall composition of the image, and then the placement of that bird as well. I mean, I think it's a great tip looking at the outline of it. I think we were working out during the judging. It's just, I mean, to have that creative brain to put these compositions together and to have that vision, I think is amazing. And this is what judges like to see. They like to see different ideas and different images, things they've never seen before, approaches they've never really seen before. So those sort of inventive approaches, but things that are also technically really solid as well, which this is. And it just works so well. It was just one of those wow images. When I saw it in the selection, as I was sort of going through them initially, when we were looking at the submissions overall, it was one of those images that I knew was going to do very, very well. There was a similar image which you'll see a little bit later, which has been highly commended, and I think has appeared. I've seen elsewhere as well. Again, another really, really strong image and a good example of what he's been doing with this particular project. But I just think for all those reasons, this is a very well-deserving Gold Award winner, and I know that the judges were eulogizing over it during the selection process, and it was one of those ones that was always going to be in that sort of final discussion. I mean, Vic, for you, what stands out for you?
I think again, just the fact that it's so different, and as a judge, like you said, Rob, like we love seeing stuff that is different, that people are kind of pushing the boundaries and really thinking, outside the box. And you look at this, and for me as a judge, you love looking at stuff going, I really wonder how they took that, because, I know, like when we were discussing it before, like that bird that's like some giant monster bird compared to the tree, and it's all to do with perspective. Like we know it's perspective, but you think, wow, if it is a great tip, if it's that big, then
yeah, it's a horror show, isn't it?
So it's like the shape of the tree and everything as well is, it's got a bit of mystery to it. And yeah, I think again the black and white works very, very well. The silhouette with it, you've got the bird just in that white patch as well. So it's almost a sinister feel to this, isn't there? With those sort of arms of the tree, the branches sort of. It's almost cartoon character like, I think. Almost sort of Disney. An evil sort of Disney character. So I love it when images do this sort of thing, and they spark these discussions and they spark these thoughts in your brain. I think that's a sign of a really successful picture. So yeah, this is totally different, and I just knew it was going to do well. I mean, you get to know. And when images really stand out to you, and you get to know what the judges are going to find appealing, and I just knew this was going to do well. But for all the reasons we've talked about. So, Chava, that is a fantastic picture. It's a shame you're not around for us to talk to you about it, because I would have liked to have learned a little bit more about how you took it and the thought processes behind it. But maybe we'll catch up. At some point you can tell me about it. But no, fantastic picture, and from a fantastic series of images that I know he's been working on, in this particular vein. So fantastic picture and a well-deserved Gold Award winner for our space category. So let me just stop sharing that screen with everybody. So that sort of brings us on to sort of highly commended and commended images. Which I'll share in some videos for everybody. So let's start with our highly commended images. So highly commended in space are the following.
So congratulations to everybody on that list and who was featured there. I mean, again, some fantastic photography coming through in that selection, Vic.
And it's a wide variety of subjects as well. I think that's what's really nice. It's not just, you know, all birds or mammals. You know, we had, you know, some invertebrates in there and that as well. It's a good range of subjects and a good range of styles as well.
Yeah, and I think that's what we've seen, you know, throughout, you know, the process of this competition. You know, there's always a good mix of species and you know, and styles and approaches, and hopefully, you know, people are getting some inspiration, you know, from the images that are being awarded, you know, getting some ideas. That's what it's all about. So congratulations to everybody on that highly commended list. There is some fantastic photography, and as I said, you know, there's another one of Chaba's images from that project that you know, obviously he's been working on. So really interesting approach, and I love seeing all the way people's brains work and the stuff they come up with. So it's and we've got a few more images to show you as well. There's commended images of some fantastic stuff in there. So why don't we share that, you know, with everybody as well, so you can enjoy those pictures. So congratulations to all the following photographers who are commended. Let me just line that video up. So our commended photographers in space are I mean, again, to your point, Vic, you know, a good, you know, selection, very diverse in terms of its subject matter and its approach and technique and style. What a great selection of photos.
And it's the way people are interpreting the category as well. You see a lot of different interpretations there of space, which is really good.
Yeah, that's what I quite like about some of these category titles. You know, they are open to individual interpretation to a degree. And some people have really been very clever with that, I think, you know, as we've gone throughout the year. And, you know, Tiny, for example, that was another one of those categories where people's interpretation of that was very different from photographer to photographer. And some really clever approaches. So yeah, congratulations to everybody who's on that list, and all the images that we've shown this evening, because, you know, the standard, as I keep saying, is very high. So if you're on that list, you know, you've done very well. So it's, you know, it's highly competitive, and there are so many images, great images that sort of didn't make it this far. You know, you look through them and you think, oh, that's really beautiful, but you can only list so many and award so many, because that's the nature of these things. So no, it's been a fantastic process throughout the course of the year as well. We've had some really lovely stuff coming through, and think of all the winners that we've had, you know, over the course of the year, and we shared in these videos. And what I will do is put up a list of the finalists, maybe not tomorrow, but hopefully earlier in the week, so people can have a look, because what the process is that we choose from basically the founder's choice, the bronze, the silver, and the gold. They all go into, for each category, they all go into the final mix and discussion, and from there we choose the overall winner, a process which we have completed. So we know who the winner is, or the winners are, we will be sharing those with you next weekend. So do look out for that. That's probably going to be, I've set it for 7 p.m. this coming Sunday. I've no reason to believe that's going to change once I've got that confirmed, because I'm waiting for you know, a judge to confirm that they can do it or not, I will get an email out to everybody, and I'll put the event up on the YouTube and Facebook pages. So do join us for that next weekend, because that's going to be very exciting. Just to finally announce our 2023 winner out of all those fantastic photographs, all of which I will show you again next weekend before we make the announcement. So yeah, no, it's been a great year, and apologies for taking it, you know, so long to get to this point this year. It's just been, people have been so busy with COVID, sort of now a distant memory. A lot of, you know, the judges have been doing trips and doing other things, so it's been more difficult this year to get people together, you know, as a group to, you know, to make these choices, which is why it's taken a little bit longer this year than it has in previous years. So you know, thank you all, everybody, for your patience while we've been sorting that out. So Vic, thank you very much for stepping in and being my wing person this evening. What's next for you?
Well, I've confirmed that I will be back at Bird Fair this year with my artwork. So now it's pretty much everything is going into that. So I'm drawing, I'm working on some new pieces, I'm making little needle felted animals, and yeah, just make sure I've got everything ready and good to go. So it's just, most of it's drawing. There's a lot of drawing going on right now.
Yeah.
A little bit of photography, but yeah, not so much at the moment. Did do some photography on Friday night, the Frogs and Toads at my parents'
house.
You
sent me some pictures. Vic sent me some pictures, and well, as usual, you know, you just come up with some amazing stuff, and it's inspired me to go out and do some of my own Frogs and Toads while we're at the sort of peak season. I was saying to Vic actually before we came on air that I opened the windows in the room that I use to broadcast these things from, and all I can hear are toads chirping outside, because it's relatively mild and it's been wet, of course, as most of this winter has been over the last few days. And as people will probably know, I help out with a toad patrol in the village, and organise the residents here to help out and try and stop as many as we can being squashed on the road as they make their way to the pond to breed. And yeah, so all I can hear at the moment are toads chirping outside. That's what's setting Sky off, I think. That's why she's been sat on that, sort of grumbling. I've been trying to stop her from barking, but anyway, Vic, no, it's been great to catch up. Thank you so much for coming on and helping out. Hang on the line a little bit, and we'll catch up before you leave. Let's just have a look. I think there's one comment coming in. AB says hello, guys. So hello, AB. Yeah, Vic, thanks very much. Hang on the line. We'll have a quick chat afterwards. So thanks everybody for watching. I hope you've enjoyed those photographs, and well-deserved winners there. I'm sure you'll agree. Do remember to join us next weekend. It'll probably be 7 o'clock. I'll put an email out to everybody and get those up on the YouTube channel and Facebook page when we will announce the overall winner for WildArt 2023. Anyway, thanks everybody for watching. I will line the outro up in my usual professional manner. So we'll see you all again next weekend.